Okay. Give it a few seconds, I guess. As I load everything up. Then make my weekly predictions. And then recap everything that happened last week and see how I did. Okay. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to Kryptonite Core. Hope you all have had an incredible week. Just a stunning, spectacular week. It's been beautiful over here in North Carolina. The entire state has been pretty glorious. This week has been my vacation week, so I have been running at a different pace, a different level than normal. YouTube's still doing its same deal to me though, not sending out my damn videos, but yeah, whatever. At this point, I just try, give it a year, and then see what happens. But this week's been pretty crazy. I went to Topsail Beach on Sunday, and then I've been trying to save money because food in the grocery store is super expensive at the moment. And so I have been buying pizza from Little Caesars to have something to eat that's going to fill me up, because I was having chronic migraines and stuff about a week ago or so, and that lasted for 4 weeks, or not 4 weeks, 4 days, basically Sunday night all the way up until Thursday morning, where they had chronic migraines. And so I was like, well, let me do something, try to do something about this to remedy the situation. So I've been purchasing Little Caesars pizza just to have something to consume, just to have something to fill me up, because I am not by any means rich or have the cash or have the dough. Sometimes I'm suffering, it feels like. What's going on? How you doing today, Gonzalez? How are you doing? But yeah, I try to do my best. So by going to Little Caesars, buying pizza, buying the hot and ready pepperoni pizza, it gives me something to take home, something to eat, and something to get me vitamins and minerals, because those headaches are scary. First of all, because I have had a fractured skull in the past, so it's a little frightening. And secondly, because, well, I was just eating and drinking protein shakes, and that's highly dangerous, because that's all I was eating and drinking, because I don't really have a lot of money. So I just changed my avenue and started buying pizza, cheap pizza to eat. So what's going on, everybody? How are you doing today? I'm doing pretty good. Sorry this video is coming out a day late, but I yesterday was at Hanging Rock in northern or western North Carolina, and that was just breathtaking. I mainly took pictures, but I have a couple videos of waterfalls over there, and I went to see 2 or 3 waterfalls when I was over there. Just beautiful, just spectacular. I may make a short video for my actual channel, showing you guys the pictures, showing you guys the images. But when mainly when I went up to the top of the mountain, I wanted to just have a little bit of peace. And it was right before the crowd got there. And I even told my mother, you know, it was great to be up there just in solidarity, just by myself, and just have a moment. So I sat up there probably for 20, 30 minutes, and then I started heading down, and I talked to an older guy who cut through the woods a little bit, which is dangerous because they have pictures warning you from like rattlesnakes and stuff. And I was actually wanting to see one because I want to add it to my photo collection, but didn't see one. But it was a good conversation though. We sub if you love Jesus. That's nice. Do you have I don't know why you are a good guy. I try. I try, but I think everybody can be a good person. Um, but that's all subjected to who you're asking, because you're always going to have somebody tell you that you're not good, that you're not good enough, that you're not wise enough, that you're not smart enough, or whatever. The list goes on and on and on. But it's not determined on what they think, okay? Because they're based on their opinion, but it's based upon your drive, your ambitious skill set, what you want to accomplish throughout your life. Um, yeah, I know, there's many obstacles that we all go through on a daily consecutive basis, but we got to fight for what we want, fight for our desires, fight for our passions, fight for what makes us happy, because nobody else is going to do such a thing. At the end of the day, when the sun goes down at night, we we are going to hold our own goals, and you know, so that's why last year I was like, one of my goals was to go to the mountains, see the colors change, and I seen a little bit of color change when I was up on the top of that mountain, and I was looking down. I seen a little bit of color change, but not tons. But it was awesome. So anybody that needs, that would like to go to the mountains, either the Appalachian Mountains or the Rocky Mountains, I would recommend going. Go to the top of the mountain, whatever mountain, and Hanging Rock is currently open. So if you guys want to go there, and their bathhouse is now open, which is basically this giant lake that's open now for the public. It actually opened today at 10 a.m. over there in Hanging Rock, North Carolina, and it's Danbury is where it's located, or Danbury, yeah. So like maybe 10 minutes from the actual city itself, and so yeah, very beautiful. It has waterfalls, which is about 5 or 6 waterfalls there, and I seen 3 of them, I believe, yesterday, and then I got 3 more to see next time I go. Um, then I got trails to walk and all that stuff, but it's amazing. So, but I hope everybody's doing well. Um, I'm gonna hop right into it. If anybody has any other comments or anything like that, just leave them, and I'll address them ASAP. All right, so got the handy dandy pen, and I may make a short little video about my little trip. I'm just not. I'll even probably make a video about this. Might as well. About my confidence speaking in front of people. And there was a lot of people there when I first got there, but later in the day there was people there. A little bit of people, not tons, but there was a decent amount of people, and I don't feel comfortable talking in front of people in that magnitude yet. If it was if I was giving a speech on stage, I'd be cool with it. But if I'm like doing a YouTube video, creating and designing that in front of people, it's a little bit different. So, anyways, let's get into the video, I guess. If anybody has any comments, leave them in the comment section below. I'll respond as the video goes on. So, I picked the Buccaneers to beat the Falcons, and that was incorrect. The Falcons beat them. That was a really good game, though. One of the best games that happened last week. Very competitive. Very, yeah. Kirk Cousins and Baker Mayfield both threw multiple touchdowns. If I'm correct about that, it was like 3 or 4 for Baker, and then like 5 for Kirk Cousins. Probably the best game of the week, and it was on a Thursday. So I got that one wrong. What's the Vikings over Jets got correct. Bears over Panthers got correct. Panthers over Dolphins got incorrect. Both teams are horrible. If you don't know, they're both dreadful. Okay, Tua got injured. He got concussed for the third time, dangerous concussion. Um, and now um, he's now thinking about coming back and playing again. I don't think that's a smart decision. I think you should worry about your family and stuff instead of your coach's job. But they won 15-10. It was a sucky game. It was one of the worst games of the week. I also got the Jags and Colts game wrong too, 37-34. It was a good game too, which, very competitive game. They'll play each other again. That time it was in Florida, and Jacksonville Jaguars did pretty good. They got their first win of the season, so happy for them. But I got it wrong. Ravens over Bengals, got that one correct. Redskins over Browns. I say Redskins. They, most teams, most people call them the Commanders. I go back to their old roots. They call them the Redskins, and they look incredible. Jalen Daniels looks amazing, and Deshaun Watson. His reputation, that's it's speaking loud and clear. He's not looking too hot, and when his deal's up, I don't think there's a team in the world that's going to sign the guy. Broncos over Raiders, got that one correct. Bills over Texans, got that one incorrect. Another competitive game. So, the competitive games I always get, I got wrong. The bad thing from that game, the Texans game, or the worst thing, see, Bills didn't have one of their number one wide receivers, but he'll be back potentially next week. He's questionable at the moment. Can't think of his damn name right now, and then the Texans, the sad thing is, Nico Collins is now on IR for at least 4 weeks due to an injury. That's going to hurt the Texans a lot because Nico's pretty damn good. So I don't know exactly how that's going to affect their gameplay and everything, but I think that's going to affect them big time. They actually may trade for a wide receiver. You imagine this? So because Nico, a little bit under the radar with his injury because I didn't hear about it until today. So, yeah. Seahawks over Giants, got that one incorrect. The Giants actually picked up a victory over the Seahawks, and I was a little bit of shock that Daniel Jones is starting to pick it up. He's starting to try to save his job a little bit and start a position for the New York Giants. They have a good thing going. Even though they didn't have their starting wide receiver play, Malik Neighbors, who was out because of a concussion protocol from the week prior, which I took him out of my fantasy lineup because of that very reason. Because if you have concussion in the NFL or in any other sport, you should not be contesting the next week. And he's actually not on schedule either, so he may not even play this upcoming week at all either. So that's horrible, but it is what it is. The Cardinals, I thought, so beginning of the season for the Cardinals, they looked great. They looked incredible. Going into nowadays, they look okay, but they snuck by on that victory. They snuck by, and I thought the Niners were going to beat them. But they snuck by on that victory by one lousy point. And it just takes 1 point to beat a team. It doesn't take 100 points or 2 or 3 points. It takes just one single point, and that one single point can end it. And the Niners are like middle of the road this year. They're not top notch. They're not, low of the barrel, but they are middle, yeah. Rams and Packers, I got that one wrong. Packers just outplayed the Rams. It was a good game, top notch, but I got that one incorrect. And then Cowboys Steelers, I was actually shocked. So I have this fantasy league for my church and for my work. It's like combined into one type deal. And Rico from the Cowboys did incredible. Just did amazing. And the Steelers, they're not looking horrible, but the rumor has been that Justin Fields may step back in the next couple of weeks, and Russell Wilson may actually start the game, which is, I don't know if that's the right decision, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. And then I got the last one right, Chiefs over Saints. I just had this feeling that the the Chiefs were going to pick up a victory, and they picked up a victory all right. The Saints are not looking great. Derek Carr is starting to degress, and now this upcoming week, Derek Carr is going to be sidelined for a couple of weeks due to an injury, and the young kid is going to be starting, the rookie, which I think is great, a good decision. I hope the young kid does well, and I hope he does well enough that he can actually take Derek Carr's position, take his job. And yeah, so I gotta get a new piece of paper because yeah. Oh yeah, and also let me yo, what's going on, Zero to Influence? How are you today? I hope you're doing well. I'm doing all right. Just hanging in there. So, correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 correct. And incorrect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that was out of 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 13 total games. Because this was the first week that we had a bye week for certain teams. And next week, the Chiefs are on bye. So that's going to be spontaneously great because the Chiefs are just getting by. They're not like, they're beating teams, yes. But Patrick Mahomes does not look great. And many people may say, oh, that's not true. He looks amazing. Look at his numbers. Good, man. Love your positive videos on God. Well, you know, okay, so when I came back to YouTube, so I used to do videos on wrestling, professional wrestling, and I still like wrestling. I still, enjoy watching it once in a while. I don't really watch it as much as I used to. But when I came back, because at the time I was serving at my church, Open Door Church, and I was like, I want to make content to encourage people to step into a relationship with God. I don't want to make content that's like, man, let's get an idol in our lives. No. Okay, so I came back to YouTube with the main purpose of making content to encourage people to have a relationship with God. But I also wanted to show people the beauty of God. So go to the beaches, go to the mountains, and I went to the mountains. I went to the mountains today or yesterday, and I going back to the beach potentially tomorrow and just enjoying the pureness in which God has manifested. And so I just try to give people that kind of avenue to look towards, but I just got to get more comfortable talking, and talking and making a video in front of people and stuff. Some people can just walk into a grocery store with a camera in front of their face and woo, make a video. But me, I go in there, get what I need, and get the hell out. I don't really like pick up my phone and be like, hey, this is what I'm going to be getting at the store today. Let's shop. I just a little funky. And if I go to the mountains and stuff, I'm not like, let's pick up a camera and let's film every step I take. What the hell are you doing, man? You're going to trip and fall down the dang mountain. And you're going to be on the local news tonight. I don't want to be on the news for that kind of reason. Now, I did submit a good, beautiful photo for WITN's photo contest of the week, for Sunrise Photo of the Week. And I hope to win, and I hope to be on the news again for that. Because it was a beautiful photo where these fishermen were on this pier and they were fishing, and then you have the beautiful sunrise that's right up beside them. And I love doing photography, showing God's pure, essence beauty that a lot of us just skip by on a daily basis because we're too busy or because we're tired or because we're just, woo, life's crazy, right? And sometimes we don't have a sunrise because of weather. But we still got to be glamorous and hopeful that every single day some appearance of God is going to be there, manifested before our eyes. We just got to be ready for it. I lost my dad last year and just got out of homelessness as well. So being with God is very important to me right now. I am sorry for your loss, first of all. And secondly, I lost my dad in 2019, so I know exactly how you're feeling. Um, I miss my dad every single day. I have his picture in my apartment, many different, every room pretty much has his face on every wall or has something that he created because he liked to make stuff out of wood or liked to draw or liked to paint. And so I have some of his stuff, and he gave me some of that stuff before he passed away. I didn't get any of that stuff after he passed. Um, but I'm still grieving, and I know that the only way and the only reason I'm still here is because of God. Because there was many days I just wanted to be with my father. I just wanted to say, I want to see my dad and I want to be with my father. And but now I'm like, man, God has another purpose for me rather than me just like kicking the can and saying this is over, this is it. God says, I have another plan for you. You're going to show the beauty that I create, that I design, and you're going to give people hope. And just, and then when I read scripture, it's verbatim for what scripture says. Um, I try to encourage people through what scripture says. And I also let people know right away, I'm not perfect. I'm broken, I'm busted, I'm bruised. But I lean on God for that salvation. I lean on God for healing. I lean on God for every single fiber of my being. Um, so I'm sorry for your loss, but I hope, and if you need anything, if you need anything at all, just holler at me, and I'll do my best to help you as much as I can, as much as I potentially can. I'm 21 now, and I'm getting a little bit through it, but I don't think I'll ever get through it completely. You probably won't. Um, sometimes, sometimes we do get through the grievance period, but a lot of the time we don't because our attachment towards that individual was just so strong and they meant so much to us that um, it breaks us even to think and fully understand what it takes to take that risk and take that step in that direction to fully heal. And I think sometimes in the way it's better not to fully heal because then you never forget who they were and what they actually truly meant to you. Um, and I'll never forget my dad. I mean, his photos right here. This is one of many photos of my dad, my stepmom, and myself after we went on a trip. And we went to a trip. Let me get that glare out of the way. We went to a trip in Indiana. It was my stepsister's idea. We went to a trip in Indiana, and we seen some waterfalls, and we danced in a river, or it was a lake, or whatever the hell it was. And we danced in it for a little bit. We didn't really dance in it, but we had a moment as a family. And then we went to this Crossroads restaurant that my stepmother found, or my dad found, or something online. And we went to it, and we had a good time. And my dad wanted to have more trips like that, but his cancer got worse, and we couldn't do that anymore. But it was like yesterday, me seeing a waterfall. The first waterfall since my dad passed away was like my dad's name. Good job, son. Keep doing what makes you happy. And I have my dad's ashes with me, and I, have them with me everywhere I go, because I believe that my dad needs to see every single thing that I see. The pure essence of beauty. We should not forget that pure essence of beauty. And you are very welcome. I understand exactly how you feel. Maybe not exactly to the T, because everybody deals with it differently. But I know sort of what you're feeling, because I felt like, man, I was shattered in a million pieces, and I didn't know which piece went where, And I just, I still on certain days, I feel like I'm lost in the woods, just trying to scramble out before, it gets too dark and I can't see where I'm going. And that's happened a couple times, that's happened a couple times. I made sure yesterday didn't happen because I don't want to fall off the damn mountain, all right? But I got back before rush hour. But yeah, and it is an awesome picture. It's an awesome memory, and it's an awesome moment. One of the last moments. It was one of the last trips we actually did together. I think it was actually the last trip we actually had, our whole family. My dad, my stepmother, my stepsister, her son Tatum, and then yeah, we all went on a little trip together and got away and just yeah, yeah, had a moment. I don't even remember the state park or anything, but it was good. So, but yesterday I went to Hanging Rock. That won't work. I went to Hanging Rock National Park in western North Carolina. I talked to the ranger for a little bit when I got there, and he said that this was the only national park that was currently open. And then I talked to an old man a little bit later, and he said he went to Pilot Mountain, which is probably like 20, 30 minutes away, a couple days ago, and it was opened. And then he also said that Ravensclaw was opened, and it was probably, I don't know how long it's from there, but they're in western North Carolina that was hit with a hurricane. There's mainly two of them that's still closed. Two of them still closed, and that is Blue Ridgeway National Park, which actually that national park is big, like it's huge. You can actually walk from 3 different states if you really want to. It goes all the way from Virginia, North Carolina, I believe South Carolina, down to Kentucky, Tennessee, that whole entire row. I believe it goes through all those states right there. And then Chimney Rock is also closed as well, which I think out of all of them, that'd probably be the best one to go to when it actually gets opened, or if it actually reopens. Because you go up this giant mountain, and then at the top of it, it has like this fenced-in area, but you're on top of this giant rock. And I was on a couple giant rocks yesterday, and I could look down and see, but you literally look down and you can see the town. There's just no way to get up there right now because there's some trees and stuff in the way, and it's closed indefinitely. So, but probably in the next year or so they'll be back opened, and I may go to one of those. I may even go to like Pilot Mountain or something. I like going to those and seeing waterfalls, seeing the mountains, stuff like that. But I need to go back to the one I was at yesterday again and see the rest of the waterfalls, walk a couple more trails. It takes a couple times to do it. It's a 3-hour and 20-minute drive. It's a good solid trip, but I wanted to beat rush hour, so I got back here at my apartment in Greenville, North Carolina, around 4:15, 4:20, something like that. And it was a good trip though, so I enjoyed it. I'm gonna get me a piece of paper. Oh, nice. I'm in California, by the way. Whoa, California. I've never been to California. Before I pass away, though, before the lights get dimmed, um, I'll make it to California. I wanna go to everywhere. Some places are like Oregon and Washington and like Nevada and stuff. I mean, it's wilderness 101. It's wilderness, and it's like triple the size of like North Carolina, because you're dealing with the Rocky Mountains over there, and it's a beautiful thing. Now, obviously, California don't really have like the Rocky Mountains esque. That's a little bit more inland, but California has a lot of beautiful trails and rivers and lakes and tons of fishing. Which my fishing rod yesterday had to cut, and I have to fix it today because I got stuck in the dang Dan's River, and or the line did. I had to cut the line because either a fish got it or it got tangled up or it got caught between 2 rocks or something. And I was like, okay, let's just cut it loose. So I did. And then I could have fixed it there and been like, woo, let's go fishing. But I was like, I'm not gonna do that. So I didn't actually go fishing yesterday, or at least not successfully. I haven't actually had. I'm trying to relearn how to fish because it's been many multiple years. And the way my friend Bob instructed me how to do it is not the way I really want to do it, because he wants to real in fast, and that's not really the way you want to do it. And my grandmother, she did it the right way, I think. She crossed her line, let it sit there until, you wiggle back and forth and stuff. And then you would pull in the critters, the fish. So, yeah. Thoughts on WWE right now? I think some of the stuff they're doing right and some of the stuff they're doing wrong. I think so. That's a big discussion in itself. I think overall they're doing positive. I'm not really a huge fan of like Trick Williams. I think he's a little green, but overall he's very charismatic, and that's why they're giving him the strap. The main roster, Jey Uso winning the Intercontinental Championship, is tremendous. It's a step in the right direction. I'm not really sure how I feel about Braun going from acting like he's going to turn into a face, acting like he's going to challenge for the main strap, acting like he's going to be the next challenger for Walter or Gunther's championship. Then the next second he's spearing and taking out, Jey Uso and attacking Kofi and attacking Xavier, and don't really know how I feel about that. I think overall in the company, I think they look like they're moving in the positive direction. Yeah. I think the bloodline thing, though, it's good, but I think it's also smothering other things in the company, because I think that the Bad Blood's main event should have actually been Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk. Mainly because I think that was what the pay-per-view was known for back in the day. It was known for the Hell in a Cell match going on last, and it was the first match of the night. So I think they should have made that the main priority. And I know Brock made his return and crap, but it's CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre inside the Hell in a Cell, So that's a little bit of my opinion on it, I guess. Do you think Cody Rhodes is a boring champion? I don't think he's necessarily boring. I just don't think that he should be. I don't think he should still be the world champion, because his reign as the champion is getting a little boring. It's getting a little, Roman Reigns-esque. If it was me, I know he needs to be champion by WrestleMania. So I think at Survivor Series, I would actually have Kevin Owens defeat him to become the WWE Undisputed Champion, only to hold it for, until like the Royal Rumble or something, giving Cody a small break from being champion. And then, Kevin can lose it back to Cody at the Rumble, ending their feud. Because Kevin deserves it. And as time ticks on, it's going to be a thing that's going to be more redundant, because you're going to have Cody doing exactly what Roman did, except Cody is not gathering in crowds like Roman did. But I don't think the thing is to give the title back to Roman, because I think that would be dumb. I think it would be make new stars and make Roman who he is, all right? But also make Kevin Owens stick around, because right now his contract's up in like December, and he could decide AEW's an option that I would like to test out. And there's a lot of guys testing that option. Bobby Lashley is going there. MVP went there. And well, the list goes on and on and on of who's all going there. But yeah, you just gotta. Cody is good where he's at, but I think they need to change things up. And I think a lot of people will agree with that. That Kevin Owens, aka Kevin Steen, deserves to be the man of the hour. Which would be cool, since he turned heel. It'd be cool if he just starts using the name Kevin Steen. That'd be amazing. Will WWE do that? Probably not, because it's the WWE. So, yeah. I need to pop my jaw. Yep. So, that's a brief. I mean, I'm going to try. I'm going to try. Because, technically tomorrow I should be having a AEW Wrestle Dream prediction video coming out, because that pay-per-view is taking place Saturday, I believe. So I should have my predictions up tomorrow, potentially. And I should have a wrestling video type thing talking about whatever wrestling, like on Wednesdays or whatever. I just haven't, committed to it fully. So, because it really hasn't panned out for me. Because having different types of content can help the channel, but it also can like defer people. Cody Rhodes became champion because of his dad. I believe so he made him proud, which is fine, but he should drop the strap already, as it's already getting stale. I think his dad, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, passed away in 2015. I think that's an influence of why he became champion, but I don't think that's the main reason why he became champion. I think WWE knew right away that he was as good as he was. But I think, I think that they should have taken note of this. Okay, so they were like, well, Cody Rhodes is as popular as he's ever been, good as he's ever been. He's won championships in New Japan. He won championships in Ring of Honor and so on and so forth, AEW. And he would transcend wrestling, right? They should have done the exact same thing with other people from the same entire class. Okay? AKA like Shelton Benjamin. Okay? People like Johnny Mundo, AKA John Morrison, Carlito, who they do have with the company right now, but they're not using him like they should be using him. MVP even. I mean, they could have used these guys like Cody Rhodes, all right? They could have made Shelton Benjamin like he should be used, okay? Because Shelton Benjamin, to me, is one of the best wrestlers to have never been world champion, right behind Rowdy Piper. But I think that class right there had so many guys that they could still have with the roster right now, and those guys could be like maybe not multi-time world champions, but a couple of them could be like a world champion, or whatever, and that roster would be hell of a lot stronger, because you would have Shelton Benjamin as a former world champion, you'd have John Morrison, Carlito. I mean, the roster would be strong, because I think in eventually a couple of years Carlito will be fired from WWE. People might not want to hear that, but WWE doesn't want to sort of give the rub anymore to older talents. But then when Carlito gets released, when he gets fired, within 90 days, he'll be working with AEW, and he'll be doing a lot better. But I think that the thing is, you, as in WWE, should be wanting to build those talents up and make that championship more sought after. Because Carlito, Shelton Benjamin, John Morrison, MVP, Bobby Lashley, and even Cody Rhodes, who were all basically within the same class, came out in the same set of years from 2005 all the way up to 2009. Those guys should be like the main stars of the company right now. Like they should be the ones building up the next generation of talent, and instead, most of those guys are working for the competition, so it's not really the best look. And most of those guys, they didn't push to the level that they should have. Shelton Benjamin is definitely underrated. Yeah, Shelton Benjamin's better than Bobby Lashley. He's better than MVP, and he's got to be in a stable with those guys. And which I understand why AEW is doing it, because they can make money off of the syndicate. Okay, with MVP's little faction. But Shelton Benjamin, in my opinion, is better than both of them because Bobby Lashley can wrestle, but he's like one dimensional. If you get that, he's just a one trick pony. Shelton Benjamin can do so much more than just that one thing. Uh, because he was just as good. He could have been just as good as Shawn Michaels when it came to a one-on-one wrestling match, or better comparison is Kurt Angle. Um, but him and Chad Gable could have had an incredible feud. And you know, the main thing though, why when Shelton Benjamin originally came back to WWE, I wanted him to become Intercontinental Champion one more time, but that never happened. But you know, maybe Carlito can become Intercontinental Champion for the second time, you know, but probably won't happen because they want to build up the future, but also pat the guys on the back that already were in the company, you know. So, shame that he went to AEW, yeah, but I think he'll get used because WWE released him and then they didn't want him back, and if I was in control, I would have kept him and I would have built him up. And I would have built him up about 10 years ago, you know, but whatever. I don't watch AEW honestly. I watch it from time to time. I mainly watch for the promos, but yeah, I watch it periodically, but yeah. I think AEW is I think they're all right. I think they have a lot of struggles, but I think they have too many chiefs and not enough Indians. They have too many people in the locker room that want to be the leader, but nobody wants to listen because Moxley wants to like take over the dang locker room type thing. That's the reports that I've heard. And then Bryan Danielson, he wants to do the same thing. And actually, Bryan Danielson and CM Punk, when Punk first came to AEW, were like cool. But then as time went on, Bryan Danielson was like controlling people, like what they put on social media. He would even basically punish them for putting negative comments about AEW. A few people got punished for that. It's just like there's not enough. There's too many people who want to be the chief, and not enough people who want to actually be just listening and doing their part. So I think they're decent, but I also think that WWE is decent as well because I think that they both lack certain elements. And I think the ultimate thing would be for both companies just to work together, and but and Tony Khan said he's open to the idea, but Triple H said that it's probably not going to happen in the near future. But I think put your differences aside and work with your enemy. Because at the end of the day, you're really should be working together anyways, because I think that would be better anyways. Because then you guys could use each other's talents, maybe. So sort of like what Impact Wrestling and WWE are doing, but I think that could be done better because I think that, um, yeah, I think that they could use other talents from WWE. So, think social media ruined wrestling. What do you think? I think that's 100% on key because because I go all the way back, where social media didn't exist with wrestling. Um, Kayfabe was real. Okay, nowadays social media like took that whole thing out of the whole equation, and you don't know what's real, what's fake, whatever, and the people just talk and talk and talk and gab on, and they don't know what to do and how to act and how to react. But yeah, social media, it damaged it bad. So just have to see what happens next. So, but I do think it ruined it. Give me a piece of paper and then do these predictions. question. What is your height and weight? What is my height and weight? What's my height and weight? That is a real question. Okay, so my height, I'm 6 foot tall, and my weight, about 215, something like that. You should have done pro wrestling, man. I was thinking about it. I still could. The thing is, I'm almost 35 years old. They at first would be like, "Oh, he's only 27 or whatever, 30 years old." But I'm not. But I would love to do it, even if I was a commenter. If I was sitting behind the desk, if I was calling it action by action, that would be amazing. But yeah, I would have loved to do that. But you should be a manager. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind. Because I can gab, get into character real quick, Get into character real quick. It'd be fun. It'd be reinvigorating. Which actually, back in Indiana, a couple of my friends, Carrie and Rodney, are actual tag team. They're an actual tag team for professional wrestling, for multiple different independent wrestling groups, companies and stuff. And I actually interviewed them for a college at Ball State University, a project for them for telecommunications. I interviewed Ronnie Foltz, aka the Pitbull Ronnie Foltz, and we had a tremendous interview. And after that, we sort of became friends. Became friends with Ronnie, and then that slowly triggered into me becoming friends with with Carrie, and Carrie and myself. We helped. I helped him with a video one time, and now he actually has his own YouTube channel and all that stuff, and he's very entertaining, very spot on, and he is an actual professional wrestler. And the cool thing is, his son is actually a professional wrestler for Ohio Valley Wrestling, currently owned by Al Snow, and he's incredible. Like, I haven't seen tons of his son's work, but what I have seen is he's a future world champion. All right, so I have to see where that goes. All right. So tonight, on Thursday Night Football, we have anyways. Oh, well, thoughts? OEW was done. I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. The former owner sold the company to Al Snow, who currently owns and operates the company. I don't really pay attention to who the champion is and all that stuff, but Carrie posted a few videos of his son wrestling on OVW, and checked it out and stuff, and his son is actually a regular on the show, and I think it's just tremendous. Or shows up periodically or something. I don't really talk to him about his family and stuff too much, but his son followed in his dad's footsteps, and he's trying to make it big time, I guess. So, and he's still a young kid. Watching any sports, I guess football to a point. I mainly watch the highlights. I don't really watch the actual thing. I do really extensive research on about who's being used, who's injured, all that stuff for my fantasy football leagues. Don't really watch it per se. I used to in college, but now I just look at the statistics. Who's doing well, who's not doing well, who's been throwing the ball, who's getting receptions, who's getting how many rushing yards, all that stuff. Um, and periodically I pay attention to UFC, but that's been like it. I don't really pay attention to like hockey or basketball or baseball. Sometimes baseball, I guess, when it comes to like Chicago. You know, the same thing goes with basketball, I guess, with the Chicago Bulls and Chicago Cubs. But that's about it. So my team is the Chicago Bears. So for football, with Caleb Williams as the quarterback. So today, this video is coming out late because it was supposed to come out yesterday. But I went to Hanging Rock State Park, National State Park, and it was an amazing, breathtaking experience over in Danbury, Western North Carolina, and it was amazing. So I went to the mountains, then I went to seeing two or three different waterfalls, and it was just breathtaking. I think the worst part of the whole entire trip was bad drivers. One thing I seen yesterday a lot was I'd be driving down the highway. Other people would be driving down the highway too. Imagine that. And then there would be a car that's pretty much by themselves, and they would literally slam on the brakes and nobody would be around them. And this didn't happen just like with one driver. This happened with like maybe 10 to 15 drivers. And I'm like, why are you slamming on your brakes? There's nobody even around you. Most likely, they're on their dang phone and they're not paying attention, and then they look up and then they think that they're about to hit the car in front of them, and then they slam on their brakes. So, yeah. Pay attention when you're driving, especially when you're driving, because you're driving a vehicle that could definitely kill somebody. So put down the damn phone and pay attention to the damn road, Or I like to just grab them and just shake them a little bit. But, yeah, people just need to put down the damn phone. It's not that important. But I'm going to guess maybe that had something to do with it, but there was nobody around these people, and they just slammed on the brakes. That fight should happen. Will it happen? I don't know. Bones Jones keeps getting in trouble time and time again. But who knows? All right. We'll try to get into these predictions. Okay, so tonight, Thursday Night Football, we have the 49ers taking on the Seattle Seahawks. One-on-one. Seattle lost last week. 49ers, they also lost last week. So redemption time. Okay, Brock Purdy taking on Geno Smith. I think this is their first game of this year. Should be a good contest between these two teams. I'm trying to see who I want to win. Seahawks have a good defense. I think I'm gonna stick with my guns. I'm gonna pick the Seattle Seahawks to defeat the 49ers. Not mainly because of their offense, but I'm gonna pick it because of their defense. I think it's going to be a good game, though. I think it's going to be 20, 30 points. And I think that whoever wins this game is only going to win it by 3 points. I don't think it's going to be by much. I think it's going to be a back and forth competitive match. Okay. Okay. Heading off to the next, which is Sunday, October 13th, the 1 o'clock, or well, we have a 9:30 game between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Chicago Bears in Chicago. Thanks goodness, because Florida just got hit with that hurricane, that Category 3 hurricane. Milton just hit. So Jacksonville Jaguars, Bears. And I don't even, actually, this game's not even happening in Chicago. This game's happening overseas somewhere. Can't remember exactly where. Hopefully it's not happening in like dang Brazil. It's happening in London. Isn't that spacious? It's happening in London. Okay. So the Bears are like 53% favorites to win that game. I think Caleb Williams looks a heck of a lot better. Heck of a lot better now than he did a little bit ago. Okay, aka week 1 or 2. And this is week 6. I think the Bears are going to continue the momentum that they have. I think the Chicago Bears are going to defeat the Jaguars. Jaguars did win last week. They defeated the Indianapolis Colts in a close competitive game. But I'm going to have to say that the Bears are going to continue their winning ways, and they're going to defeat the Jacksonville Jaguars. At least I hope. Then these next ones are going to be the 1 o'clock games, which first we have the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Green Bay Packers in Green Bay. Arizona Cardinals picked up a huge victory over the Niners. I say huge victory because I didn't anticipate them to win at all. Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. have been okay. In some weeks they're doing tremendous, and then other weeks they're like, woo, drop the barrel down. Packers, ever since Jordan Love has come back, they've been all right, but questioning if that was the right decision because when the week after he came back, he threw 3 interceptions, and then Malik Willis, in the 2 weeks that he did start, he didn't throw any interceptions. So, was that a mistake? I don't know. I think this is going to be a good game. This is like a hidden gem type game. I think this is going to be one of the better games for the week. I do think that the Green Bay Packers, I don't want them to really win, but I think that they are going to slide by and they're going to get that victory over the Arizona Cardinals. Sort of like they did to the Rams. And that game was good too, but I think this game is actually going to be better. Because you have better teams because the Rams are just they're completely beaten up, man. The next 1 o'clock game we have the Cleveland Browns taking on the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia. A.J. Brown is coming back after being on the shelf since I think week 2. I think he's been gone since week 2. And yeah, they got one of the receivers back. That's great. Now it's time to get Mr. Smith back too. But Mr. Smith is actually, Devontae Smith is actually supposed to, I believe he's questionable right now. Is he going to play? Who knows? Who in the heck knows if Devontae Smith is actually going to be able to play? Jalen Hurts is doing all right this season. Not tremendous. And Mr. Watson, Deshaun Watson, is not doing good at all. He looks like trash. All right. Not the worst team in the NFL, but one of the worst, I would say, probably in the top 6 worst teams this year, which is not used. It's not anything new. The Browns they have a history of being bad, right? I think the Eagles are going to win. And people might ask why. Well, the Browns are bad. Their offensive line is horrible. Their defense it's all right. It's manageable, but I mean they're just bad. They're horrible. And plus A.J. Brown is coming back, so I think that he's going to have a high reception count, and Jalen Hurts is going to feel more comfortable. His number one guy is back. His number one guy is not hurt anymore. Yeah, so Eagles get a victory. Good. We got the Reds. Oh man, this game should actually be like Sunday Night Football or Monday Night Football because it's going to be potentially that good. We got the Redskins or Commanders, all right, taking on the Ravens. It's going to be a good game. hands down, it's going to be a real good game. Top notch, two tremendous teams. We got Jaden Daniels taking on Lamar Jackson. Two tremendous teams going at it. Ravens have been wiping team after team out. Okay, um, can the Redskins do the ultimate? Like, can they beat the Ravens in Baltimore? Woo! That's like a big old asking question right there. It's a big risk taking the Redskins. Um, you know what? I think I'm feeling a little woo, today. So I'm going to pick the Redskins to beat them. I think that they can do it. I think they're good enough to beat them. But I also think that the Ravens with Derrick Henry is just like woo. They're pretty a pretty crazy team, pretty powerful team. So I'm picking the Redskins over the Ravens, which is like crazy, but um, it needs to happen. In order to be the best, you got to beat the best. So Jalen Daniels has to get that figured out real quick. He's going to have to rush a little bit more than Lamar Jackson. He's going to have to rush a lot more than Lamar Jackson in order to beat that dude. So he's going to have to rush a little bit more than Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry combined. So, anyways, it's going to be a close game no matter what. The next 1 o'clock game, we got the Houston Texans versus the Patriots in New England. The only good news for the Patriots is that Nico Collins is currently on IR. That he's going to be on IR for, I guess, 4 weeks now. That's good news for them, I guess. So, but they are like one of the worst two teams in the NFL right now. So they are pretty dreadful. They are switching quarterbacks, which is great, right? It's great. Just that their young rookie quarterback, you're throwing him pretty much to a lion, in CJ Stroud, and the rest of the Texans are going to eat him alive, Drake May, he's going to have his work cut out for him in this match. This is going to be a competitive fight. I think that the Texans are going to beat them. They beat the Buffalo Bills last week. I'm pretty sure they can beat the Patriots. So, Texans over the Patriots. Okay. Next, we have another game of the week. And I say game of the week because these guys are in the same division. Buccaneers and Saints. Baker Mayfield has been doing incredible. But here's the question mark. So I think that the Saints will do good and potentially even better than previous weeks because Derek Carr is going to be on the shelf for a couple of weeks. With that being said, I think that their rookie quarterback, so a similar situation as the Patriots with Drake May. Drake May, though, has watched and has been sort of in the driver's seat where people knew and felt like this dude was going to start sooner rather than later. The Saints, I don't think they actually had a clue in their mind until the day that Derek Carr came up to him and said, "Hey, man, I'm going to have to miss a few weeks because I'm injured." So they're going to have this rookie quarterback playing against Baker Mayfield, who has been dominating with his good old wide receiver class of Mike Evans and Mr. Godwin. And I think the Buccaneers are easily going to win this game. But I think it's going to be decent, and I think the rookie quarterback is going to gain a little bit more respect. Even in defeat, he's going to gain some respect. But if I was the Saints, I would use Alvin Kamara a little bit more because like week 1 or I think it was week 2, they just demolished the Dallas Cowboys, and I was like, wow, that's impressive. But now I'm like, what the hell happened to the damn Saints? I mean, you're not using Alvin Kamara like you did before. Is it the head coach? Is it Alvin Kamara? Is it a mixture of both? I don't know. But I just know that they're not using him like they were before. And so that's led to multiple losses. So hopefully they pull their heads out of their rear ends and they actually figure how to win again with Alvin Kamara. Because if Alvin Kamara goes over a certain amount of yardage, they win the game. So, and they could easily win this game, but I don't think they will. The Falcons are like that team that goes and cheat. Doesn't really cheat to win, but they sneak by and get victory after victory over teams that they shouldn't be beating necessarily. But the Falcons are a team that you should watch. Next, the 1 o'clock game, we have, it's actually the last 1 o'clock game, which actually should be pretty good too. We got the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Tennessee Titans, which Tennessee Titans won their first game, I think last week actually, or 2 weeks ago or something like that. This game's going to be good. Tennessee Titans just came off a bye week, so that will be tremendous. I believe Joe Flacco will be playing this week as well, I think, because I believe Richardson is still on the shelf with a slight injury. I think that the Tennessee Titans are going to beat the Indianapolis Colts. Just have this feeling. So, not that my cousin, like the other day, we were talking about football slightly on when they were playing Warframe on Xbox. And he was like, I hate the Indianapolis Colts, and, boo, all these reasons, right? And I was like, Colts aren't, like, horrible. They're not bad. They just don't have things figured out yet. And their offensive line is just not that great. Their defense is pretty decent, but, yeah, they're basically just as good as the Titans. They have a little bit more, upside for the future than the Tennessee Titans do because Will Levis, I don't think, is the right option. And, yeah. But Tony Pollard is incredible running back that they have and everything. You know what? I think I'm actually going to go with the Indianapolis Colts. I think by talking to myself like that, I think I decided Indianapolis Colts are going to defeat the Tennessee Titans. So, Colts over Titans. Chargers, Broncos, the first of two 405 games, be pretty good. I believe the Chargers just came off a bye week as well. And Justin Herbert should be a little bit more healed up and recuperated than he was before. Bo Nix looks like he's getting a little more comfortable. Looks like he's getting the offense more in play. Defense looks pretty incredible too. I would say, I'm going to say the Broncos defeat the Chargers. I think that Bo Nix is going to get a huge victory over Justin Herbert and continue the momentum that he has going. Okay. Second 405 game is the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Raiders. Raiders, so much dysfunction. I mean, it all speaks with Adams and wanting to be traded, and they don't really have a good, solid wide receiver foundation or anything. And the Steelers, they have like a question, right in people's mind right now of who's going to be the starting quarterback. Is it going to be Justin Fields? Is it going to be Russell Wilson? Russell Wilson was first. He was benched. Then he was injured. Then this week he was actually participating in practice. So far, nobody has actually been named the starting quarterback for that. Aiden O'Connell, I believe that's his name, has been named the starting quarterback for the Raiders, which he's all right. He has a good throw, good arm, and everything. But I think the Raiders are just dreadful. One of the worst three teams in the NFL right now, I believe. Yeah, up there with the Patriots, up there with the Panthers. I have to say that the Steelers are going to bounce back from that loss last week in that close competitive fight, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to defeat the Raiders. The first of two 425 games, we have the Detroit Lions taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Whew, that's going to be a good game. Dallas Cowboys bounced back last week and picked up that victory, letting their running back Rico do some running for once. Rico looked good last week. The Lions, they have looked impressive this year, just like last year, but last year they looked way more impressive. So I think this is going to be a good game. Maybe another hidden gem type game that's going to be good. Trying to see. I think I'm going to pick the Lions over the Cowboys though, because I don't think the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are going to slip it up a little bit in that game. I don't think. I think they're going to lose at the end of the day. The second 405 game, we have the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Panthers. I think this is going to be another solid game. The Falcons, they look good. Kirk Cousins looks good. Threw 5 touchdowns last week. Looks incredible. Andy Dalton, he doesn't look too bad, but I think Kirk Cousins is going to beat Andy Dalton and put him in his spot. So Andy Dalton is going to lose next week, or not next week, this week to Kirk Cousins. So Falcons over Panthers. Okay. 8:20, the main event, Sunday Night Football, which I think there's other games that fit the description a little bit better than this game, because this game right here to me doesn't spell out, main event at all. We got the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the New York Giants. I think it's going to be a good game, like a hidden gem, like the Lions-Cowboys game. I think it's going to be good. The Bengals have had too many games where I think ultimately they should have been the team to walk out with their head held high, and they should have been the victorious ones. Like last week when they took on the Ravens, they should have won. Ultimately, I think that they should have walked out with their head held high, and the Giants have picked up victories over teams that I thought that they should have lost against. So I'm going to say, because the Bengals have a problem with the time management aspect of things, they don't really have a good aspect with being good time managers. So I'm going to have to say that the Giants are going to beat the Bengals and keep their playoff hopes alive. And then Monday Night Football. We have the Buffalo Bills versus the New York Giants, who just fired their head coach. So you just fire their head coach, or they fire their head coach, and then they get the main event of that week. And the Buffalo Bills are trying to come back from that loss against the Houston Texans. I think it's going to be a one-sided fight. I think the Texans beating the Bills last week basically amped up the Bills, and then this week the Bills are going to be on savage mode, and they're going to beat the holy hell out of the Jets. So obviously I'm picking the Bills over the Jets. So, in recap real quick, Seattle Seahawks over the 49ers, Bears over Jaguars, Packers over Cardinals, Eagles over Browns, Redskins over Ravens, Texans over Patriots, Buccaneers over Saints, Broncos over Chargers, Colts over Titans, Steelers over Raiders, Lions over Cowboys, Giants over Bengals, Falcons over Panthers, and Monday Night Football, we have the Buffalo Bills over the Jets. So, and games to look forward to in the next week that I'm looking forward to. Let's look at here. Seahawks and Falcons won't be a bad game. That won't be bad at all. Eagles and Giants might not be too bad. I think the Giants might pull out an upset over the Eagles, though. Texans and Packers might not be a bad game next week. I hope the Texans beat the Packers, though. Redskins and Panthers won't be a bad game, but Redskins will win that game definitely. 49ers and Chiefs. I'm hoping the Niners beat the Chiefs. I know the Niners have had a little roller coaster ride, but hoping the Niners bounce back and beat the Chiefs, who just were on bye week. So wouldn't that be funny? You on bye week and then, well, bam, you come back and smack right in the mouth. Get woken up real quick because I think the Chiefs are not near as good as their record shows them. Patrick Mahomes looks like he doesn't look good. He looks like he's slightly injured because he's not throwing for over not even 300 yards per game at all. He's doing horrible. And then that week's Monday Night Football will have 2 games next week. I could see both games being pretty good. The Chargers-Cardinals game will be decent. And then the other game, Ravens and Buccaneers, will be main event levels. It will be tremendous. It'll be a tremendous game. That actually should be like the main event. That's a really solid game. Lamar Jackson, Baker Mayfield, fighting it out, duking it out, see who's going to be the top man of the hour. So, who's the Chicago Bears play next week? Is that their Oh yeah, Lions and Vikings are playing each other next week. Which that actually might be the week that the Vikings get beat. Because they're on bye week this week. The Bears are on bye week next week. So week 7 they're on bye week. Chicago Bears are on bye week. So when they come back from bye week, they take on the Redskins. Oh man, woo! Wow. That's gonna be a game. Man, that might be game of the week that week. Oh yeah, Buccaneers are also taking on the Falcons again too, where 2 weeks ago they lost. This is in 2 weeks though. So then you got Bears and Redskins. Wow, that's going to be a good game. I'm hoping Caleb Williams beats Jalen Daniels and then puts the comparisons to bed because people are going, oh, let's compare 2 people. Well, that's a stupid idea. Other good games that week. Cowboys and Niners might not be a bad game. And Giants and Steelers on Monday Night Football might not be a bad game. I could see Giants, though, sneaking by a victory because Giants are sort of like the Falcons this year. They pull out those small victories. And the Chiefs are taking on the Raiders. That's easy. Raiders are going to destroy the Raiders. Decimate the Raiders in 2 weeks. But the week before, when they take on the 49ers at 425, I hope the 49ers in San Francisco defeat and dethrone and give the Chiefs a loss. Okay? And actually, you know what? I think next week the Lions may defeat the Vikings and the Niners may defeat the Chiefs. And I know the Lions are taking on the Vikings in Minnesota, but I still think that the Lions may pull out that victory. Wouldn't that be funny? And the Bears will be on bye next week. So, no! But, I mean, they can go on bye after beating the Jags. Anyways, I'm going to hop off here. If anybody doesn't have any more comments or anything, check my Instagram, my Facebook, and then if that'll give you enough time to, put a comment in if you want to, and if you don't, that's perfectly cool too. But if you do, that's awesome too. pretty jazzed up, you know? Pretty jazzed up. I'll hack my Facebook and then I'm getting off here. I hope everybody's safe from the hurricanes. I don't even have a lot of messages on Facebook too. Nothing I really want to read though. That's interesting. Cam Newton signs with ESPN. That's interesting. All right. I guess I'm going to sign off this platform, all right? It's not really working out for me today. All right. Take a sip of coffee, and I'll tell you guys to have a good day, all right? Have a good one, all right, people?